There are three common handshakes that you will more than likely run across during a sales call: the firm handshake, the dominant handshake, and the wet noodle handshake. A handshake on its own, Merritt, it can tell you a lot about the type of personality you're dealing with. Here's an example. The firm handshake. This type of handshake is going to happen when you meet either a high D personality, who's the dominant aggressive type, or someone who is easily intimidated and needs to use these types of tactics, such as squeezing the life out of your hand to try and jockey for dominance during an encounter. The dominant handshake. This type of handshake is common in both the high D and the high I personalities. This is a classic example of how one thing appears to be one thing, but actually means a completely different thing. This handshake appears to be one simulating an embrace. However, in most cases, you'll find that this is actually a way of subtly taking control of another person through physical contact. By placing your offhand underneath of another person's hand, with your shaking hand rotating over the top of their hand, it now becomes a subconscious move on your part of being in control of the other person. And finally, the wet noodle handshake. This type of handshake is the easiest to recognize. This type of handshake comes from the timid or easily intimidated type of people. More than likely someone who is a high C or very timid high S. This handshake simply means that they are not confident in themselves. They more than likely dislike physical contact and can easily be dominated in most interactions. High Ds will thrive with this type of personality.
To view all 25 top body language indicators, as well as techniques on how to read body language, go to mattkubler.com.